guys, my name is Brandon and welcome to Audio Addiction, where you can find the latest album reviews, you can find our band interviews, and you can find our live episodes. We are hoping to do some more of those coming up, just because we haven't been going to shows as often, so we're bringing back the podcast. They'll be available to check out either on iTunes, or you can go check them out on our website, audioaddictionmedia.com. It's always in the description, so if you'd like to go check that out, that'd be amazing. And just make sure you check out the description anyway. I make sure to leave little tidbits in there as well. So definitely check that out if you like that. But if you enjoy what we do, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure to hit that like button as well. And tonight, we're going to be talking about Homebound's new record, The Mould You Built Yourself Around.
I want to tell myself now move on, and I'll carry on without you. I start to think.
So, I honestly don't remember how I found out about this band. I think I was either on Facebook, or I was maybe going through YouTube to just check out other bands. Maybe I was like checking out Worcester. They just released a really awesome pop punk record pretty recently, and I guess they showed up on like a suggested bands that I would like, and I always check out those bands because I would say a good amount of the time I do enjoy a lot of the bands that are like kind of suggested, especially on Facebook. And obviously doing audio addiction, I like to check out as much music as I possibly can. So these guys really stuck with me, and I was really sold on actually the first track, Headspace. So I just wanted to check out the rest of the album EP, and I just wanted to give you my guys' thoughts on it, of course. And hopefully you guys will check these guys out. I really dig what they're doing, and I obviously wanted to go through the tracks. So like I said, the first one is Headspace, not to be confused with Issues Headspace, even though that was a brilliant record from last year. But getting back to Homebound, this was actually the first it was either the first or second. I know they had two songs out, but I wasn't entirely sure which one. This one has a music video. But this one's definitely one of my favorite tracks off the record, without a doubt. It has a very story so far-esque sound. So if you love Parker Canyon, and just the story so far in general, I feel like this band is kind of right up your alley. They remind me of almost kind of like a UK version of Story So Far. I know they draw a lot of other influences, but you can definitely tell vocally it's very influenced by Parker Canyon of Story So Far, without a doubt. It just has this, he just has this grit to his voice and just coolness to it. Just as much as I like Parker, I think I might enjoy this guy even more. So the track itself, to me, is catchy as hell. I hear myself singing it like in the shower, in my car, all that stuff. I really enjoy this track a lot, honestly. I really dig the harmonies. I know I stress that a lot, but I love when bands do harmonies. I think it obviously shows a lot of diversity vocally, but also just in general kind of adds a lot of space to the track, which I enjoy. I feel like a lot of bands don't utilize the whole harmonies thing, so I think it was definitely enough, but I would have personally liked more. But I think they really did an awesome job, just kind of sprinkling it in there here and there to kind of add depth to the track. So I really enjoyed that one. And I think it also is just a really super solid way to start off the record. I think they really killed it on this track. So we'll move on to track number 2, which is Pensive. I dig the hell out of this one too. I think it's definitely a bit paced faster. This is almost, again, more in the formula of pop punk. I felt like the first one was definitely pop punk, but a little bit different. I feel like this one is just a little bit faster paced. The track just feels like it has a little bit more bounce to it. Really liking the group vocals as well. I also enjoyed that they do harmonies too. I think that's really cool. I think this is, again, a really catchy track. I think they're just killing it with the sort of like melodies, the vocal lines, all that combined together just makes me think like, man, this track's really catchy. It's also very poppy too, which is probably why I enjoy it, because I love that like happy sort of vibes going on with that. And I also enjoy, when I enjoy pop punk, it always gives me some happy, good, lucky fun, feelings about that. So that's something that I definitely just love about pop punk in general. I know all pop punk isn't like that, but I really enjoyed that. I think it's definitely structured really well, and I think it has some really nice breaks, some catchy sing along parts. I think it's really this track really has it all while it being shorter, in terms of like time wise. I think they really just kind of just hit the nail on the head on that. And I think vocally, it's probably one of the more diverse tracks. It has some really nice highs, like falsettos sort of a things, borderline falsettos. I wouldn't even say falsettos. It's got some really cool. He definitely has a really good range, I would say. I know he knows how to structure melody really well because obviously I think this song is super catchy. I did mix up my words, and the harmonies again. I think that just goes along with song structure. I think they really nailed that. So we'll move on to track number three, which is this trait. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. And this kind of reminds me of a mix between Neck Deep and Story So Far. I think that's the story so far is just a common thread throughout this album. I think going back and just listening to it a few times through because it's an EP. I think that was definitely one of the key bands that I could pick out discernibly that they had an influence on because you can tell it's throughout this whole EP, which is awesome. But I'm excited to see either full length or anything beyond that. I think this track has really nice breaks in the bridge that kind of separate it from the other tracks. I'm not saying that they sound familiar, but I just like the overall like breaks in the tracks. Um, and I think this one definitely has more of a rock based feel as opposed to pop punk or anything like that. It does have that pop punk flair to it, but I think it veers more on the side of rock uh, genre. So definitely enjoy that. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites. However, I think it's a very well constructed track. So we'll move on to track number four, which is Sonder. Like I said, I think this was definitely another single, but I don't know if Headspace was released before Sonder. I that was my fault. I didn't really check. But I'm almost positive they released Sonder before Headspace, but not entirely sure. Like I said, I like the really open intro. I always love when bands kind of do that sort of like very intro-y sort of stuff. That's something that I pick out. I think obviously shows instrumentally every band member skill in terms of instrument wise. And I think it kind of puts them more in the focus. So I definitely dig that. Um, I thought definitely they were going in more of a heavier direction, more on the lines of like old school pop punk. Like if you listen to the track because it's definitely up. Um, it feels like it's gonna kick into more of like a typical like pop punk sort of riff part. So definitely that's what I was feeling, but it didn't turn out that way. However, I still like it. I think the vocal performance on this track was really great. Again, I think there's really great highs, lows, mids, just his whole vocal range. I think he really kind of expounded upon that a little bit more in this track. So I really enjoy that. It does really have some of those old school pop punk moments that I was talking about with like kind of like the typical like the typical drum beat, pop punk drum beat and stuff like that. I also like that throughout the whole EP, there is a utilization of like double pedals. I don't even know. I'm not a drummer. Sorry if I sound like a moron. But it's definitely got some double bass to it. There we go. Um, and I know he had some like little flavors of double bass in there, so I really enjoyed that. I typically don't hear too much of that in I would say pop punk, but definitely something to pick out and something that I noticed just from listening. Um, I like the last chorus. I think they just really hit a really high note. I think it really soars. Definitely enjoy that. And then I really enjoyed the drum performance, like I mentioned earlier. Especially on this track in general. I think whoever does the drums on this, in this band, Homebound, I think he really kind of just kills it. And definitely in this track, without a doubt. And so we'll move on to the last track, which is Broken Revere. This one's definitely another one of my favorite tracks. I think it has a very story so far vibe to it. If you didn't get the idea already, um, definitely a huge influence on this band, and you can definitely tell that that's what they were kind of striving for. I think this track is very catchy as well. Actually, really catchy as well. Just I think they really know how to structure songs, and that's why I wanted to listen to this album in full because you know I think that was definitely something that I noticed just listening to the tracks, that they really know how to construct a track. Sorry, I'm like fumbling all over my words. But I enjoy the faster pace of this track as well. I'm really enjoying the faster pace sort of pop punky tracks on this EP, more than I would say more of the, I don't know, I guess rock sort of stuff. Um, but again, it's got that fast paced beat in a typical pop punk sort of way. I think every song, I think out of all of the songs, this one has the most song structure to it, and just song structure throughout. I think that all of these tracks, while some of them I may not like and some of them I do like, I think they are really structured well and really thought out and very methodical and stuff like that. So I really enjoy that. And I think this track is a great way to end the record. It kind of combines everything that I liked about the EP, and hopefully new stuff will be coming out very soon because I'm really excited about this band. So my pros and cons about this, I feel like as a pro and a con, I do appreciate the story so far vibes from this band. However, I feel like in the next record, maybe not use as much of that story so far vibes to it. I know that that is something important to them, but I at the same time I would hope that they would try something different, or try to expand their sound. Like I definitely dig what they're doing throughout, but to me, in order for me to separate them from story so far, I think they have to like come up with their own sound almost, if that makes sense. I know that they have their sound, and this may sound like a dumb thing, but when I think about it, it just definitely reminds me a lot of the story so far, but I think even maybe a better version. So that's something that I think is kind of a pro and also a con at the same time. Um, another pro, I think song structure wise, they really just killed it again. I think they just know how to really arrange a track with the harmonies, the melody lines, the instrumentals. I think they just kind of overall, all they're hitting on all cylinders in that regard. So I really enjoyed that. And con wise, I also feel like this, obviously it's an EP, so I'm excited for a full length. So for me, I felt like it was a little bit short, and I didn't get to really get a total flavor for the whole band. However, again, I think I have a pretty good idea about what they're about and stuff like that. So my overall rating for this record is an 8.7 out of 10. I think it's definitely one you should go check out. Definitely one you should go at least give a spin. I know they have Headspace up and they have Sonder up now, so definitely go give those two a listen. I think that they are really solid pop punk tracks, and I'm really excited to see what these guys do next. For sure, I think they are kind of an underrated pop punk band now, and I'm excited to see what they do for 2017. I know that they're going to be supporting 4 Year Strong in Europe because they live in the UK, so that's good for them, and I'm super stoked for them. So I'll definitely be picking up this EP without a doubt because it's definitely got that catchiness to it, and it has these really awesome vibes to it. So I'm excited for Homebound's future, and I hope that you guys go check them out. So if you enjoy what I do, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button as well. Let me know if you've heard of Homebound before. Have they released anything besides this? If they have, let me know, because I would certainly like to check it out and see how they've evolved as a band. Because obviously I enjoy what they're doing now, so I wanted to see where they came from. So if you know, definitely let me know either in the comments or shoot us a DM. That'd be sick. And we should be having some more reviews coming up. We got a pretty big review coming up next week, so definitely be on the lookout for that. So again, thank you guys for checking out my review. My name is Brandon, and we hope you got your fix. So we'll be talking with you soon. Peace. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, of course. If you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.